My name is Brenda Miles. I'm a child psychologist, and I wrote this book, Taco Falls Apart, illustrated by the fabulous Monica Filipina and published by the American Psychological Association's Imagination Press, which publishes books for children and teens. I'm really excited to be reading this book to you today. Thanks for listening. Meet Taco. Everyone expects so much from him. He must stand tall. He must be open. He must stay strong. But one day, Taco hits his breaking point. "The world wants too much from me," he cries. Taco cracks, tips over, and falls apart. "Oh no! What's wrong? What's happening?" say the Peppers. "I think I'm terrible at being a taco. I feel terrible, and everything I do is terrible. I can't even stand up or keep it together. I'm done." The beans gasp. "This is awful," says the avocado. The onions form a ring and start crying. "Enough! Taco, you can change all this," says Nacho. "Once you know about think, feel, do." "You said it yourself," says Nacho. "You think you were terrible, so you feel terrible, and now you won't do anything, and that's terrible." "That's loopy," says the lettuce. "I feel dizzy," says Taco. "Shake things up, Taco," says the salt. "If you change what you think, then what you feel and what you do will change too. Yippee!" "But how?" asked Taco. "Think about what makes you terrific," says Nacho, "and you'll feel better." "We think about being crisp instead of wilty," says the lettuce. "I'm sour," says the sour cream, "but I add terrific flavor." "We make farts," say the beans, "but we're good for the heart." "Your turn, Taco," says the cheese. "Turn terrible to terrific." "I'll never figure out this thinking stuff," says Taco. "Wrong. Never is not helpful for any kind of thinking," says Nacho. "And it's not even true," say the onions. "You figured out hard stuff before," say the beans. "Think about what you can do and try again," says the cheese. Taco sighs. "Why bother? I'm just going to fall apart again tomorrow." "Do you have a crystal ball? Do you really know what's going to happen? Can you see our future?" ask the Peppers. "Wrong," says the Nacho. "Are you a fortune teller or a taco? Helpful thoughts only, please." Taco thinks for a long time. "Well, I think there are days when I stand tall and hold us all together," says Taco. "And thinking about what I can do makes me feel kind of terrific. So now I want to do this." Taco stands up. "Hooray! Come on, everybody. Let's pull it together. Group hug." Now Taco thinks lots about his thoughts. Some days he falls apart. Some days his shell cracks. But when Taco thinks about what he can do, he feels strong and stands tall, and life all around seems super terrific. So thanks so much for listening. At the back of this book, there's a reader's note. And that reader's note is really designed for parents, caregivers, teachers, and any adult in your life who really cares about how you think, how you feel, and what you do. What I just discovered right now in reading this book to you is there's a secret cover. Have you ever looked inside a book? See what this one looks like? When you take the jacket off, ta-da! A different cover with Taco on the front, and look who's on the back. Nacho. Thanks for listening and for taking this journey with me. Now it's time for a craft. What I decided to do for this book was to make a giant taco with cardboard. What I did is I took 3 round pieces of cardboard, cut them in half, but not quite in half because you need to make a base so that it stands up. Glued things together and added some paint. If you have any trouble cutting round pieces of cardboard and it's not easy, you may need some help, and feel free to ask for it from somebody who can help you, like an adult, a parent, a caregiver, a teacher. So once I had it all glued and painted, I thought, what can we do with this craft that goes with the book? Well, we can use this craft to think about unfair, unhealthy, unhelpful, or inaccurate thoughts. Because Taco had a lot of those, and Nacho taught Taco about the think, feel, do loop. Because what you think can affect how you feel and what you do. So right now, this taco is completely empty, and we're going to use thoughts to fill it. So what I did is I got some little pieces of paper, all different colors. When your brain thinks of an unhelpful thought or an unfair thought or a thought that isn't even true, I want you to take a piece of paper, crumple it up, and throw it in the taco. So here's an example. I'm terrible at math. That is not a helpful or an accurate thought. Because if you really think about it, maybe you got a bunch of questions right on that math test. And when you think about that helpful or more accurate thought, you get to crumple a piece of paper and put that accurate and helpful thought in the taco. Let's think of another thought that may come into your brain. I can't play soccer. That is unhelpful and probably not accurate. Can you think of a more accurate or helpful or fair thought for you? Well, actually, when I was at that soccer game, I actually helped my friend score a goal. Helpful thought goes into the taco. Now, this taco is giant, so I'm not going to be able to sit here and fill it all up today. But you can do this over time. So every time you catch your brain with an unhelpful, unfair, or hurtful thought, throw it in the taco, and then think of a more helpful, accurate, and fair thought. Crumble that up and throw it in there too. And I hope you have a lot of fun with this craft, and I hope it's really helpful to you. Now, to help your parents, caregivers, and you, there's also a detailed note at the back of this book that will give you more ideas about how to help turn unhelpful thoughts into helpful, fair, and accurate ones. Happy crafting!